てないため絶対サービスキープしろこっちかフォロースルーに祝って絶望へのプレリュードを聞けそしてハーバースタートは手わかる
Hey everyone, it's CurlyHairedHero, and welcome back to Prince of Tennis 2005 Crystal Drive. Got possibly an interesting theme here. We've got, I guess, guys with like the same hairstyle and that are kind of, I guess, weird and quirky. Okay. Interesting, because this guy here, he's like one of the special characters in this game, that he's not like really affiliated with like any of the main schools. I think he's like a manga only character, but he falls in line with that other guy that I was talking about before, where he drinks those like potions and like gets max stats or whatever. He's similar to him in they're in the same bracket, you know, like we have Ryoma's dad and stuff like that in those brackets, where it's just like random extra people that don't fall under school. But you don't see them in the anime from what I remember correctly. So it's kind of cool to see them here, but I don't know if they played a role majorly in the manga, because I've read some of the manga. I've read like the last, I don't know, I want to say 20 chapters, where the original series is OVA that came out in like 10 years ago, something like that. Where the OVA left off, I picked it up in the anime, I think, or maybe it was the other way around. I don't remember, but I picked up some ending parts of it, and I started, you know, reading it. And these guys definitely weren't present. And I started reading some of the new Prince of Tennis manga. New Prince of Tennis is literally the continuation of the previous Prince of Tennis. They just call it New Prince of Tennis because someone explained it to me at some point, where apparently the Japanese, the word new doesn't mean the same as it does for us, which is why, for example, with Nintendo, they had like the new 3DS and, you know, stuff like that. It just kind of has like a different connotation for them, which is why they use it so easily, or maybe not so easily, but so freely, compared to like other adjectives that they can maybe use to describe things. But yeah, so we got New Prince of Tennis, which is the continuation of the previous series, and I read some of it, but I just couldn't get behind it just because it was so fucking ridiculous. Like, I'm pretty sure I've talked about it before, but you know, Prince of Tennis itself is ridiculous. Obviously, it's kids trying to play tennis, but then also they have like secretly these crazy abilities, but they're also only in like middle school or something like that, because these guys look like, you know, they all look like grown-ass fucking men, but they're actually all like middle school students. And then Prince of Tennis, New Prince of Tennis, actually takes place when they go to high school. So this whole time they were just fucking, I don't know what the age is, like 12-year-olds, I guess. And then later on they're actually at least like 14, 13, or yeah, 14, 15, I think is when you're in high school. So it's a little ridiculous. But nonetheless, aside from, you know, that stuff, there's also the fact that they just, in terms of like tennis, they make it seem really ridiculous. Because, you know, I don't want to say, I don't know if power scaling is the right term, but I guess it probably is the power scaling. Because, for example, they have characters just do these ridiculous, crazy things. You know, of course, you've set the bar so high with these middle school students that they had to just go ahead and go ape shit for the high school students, which are obviously supposed to be better than them. I can't even imagine what happens if they show up pros, which I'm sure they must have. But if they get to a, you know, a point in the manga where they continue and they start doing like pros actually playing, which, to be fair, at around 16 you can technically, I think, go pro. So I guess they're not too far off, you know, but still. But they just had a lot of ridiculous things where, like, they made them do like all these ridiculous like anime training where they had to like climb a mountain or like go down some crazy nonsense. And then I always bring this example, but there's some guy there that he has the whole premise of it is that basically everyone, the whole cast of Prince of Tennis from all the schools, they're trying to go to this like super prestigious school, so they like lump them all together. And they try to, like, I guess, apply to the tennis team, but the like I guess varsity team or the seniors kind of like, nah, y'all whack, go fuck yourselves. We're gonna challenge you to see if you're worth our fucking time. And you know, everyone gets fucking completely their ass clapped. Like, you know, Tezuka, Sanada, everyone gets fucking destroyed, right? But there's this one guy that he has 2 strings on his racket. Like, literally, he has his racket. You know how rackets have like a billion strings? You know, they like go diagonal and horizontal. He just has 1 horizontal down the middle and then 1 vertical down the middle. And that's his racket. And I'm just like, are you serious now? That's not even like remotely plausible. Like, at least, like I've talked about it before, like, you know, some of the stuff is remotely plausible where it's like, oh, Saroshiki drop shot, alright, it's a really good drop with a lot of spin, fine, I guess. Twist serve, okay, sure, it's a kick serve, I guess that's somewhat reasonable, right? Some of it is kind of reasonable, and then you get into the hokey stuff like the basically the Hadouken, but I think it's the Hadouken or whatever the fuck. Like, okay, fine. It's an anime, I get it. But then it's just like, come on. Like, what even is this at this point? But, yeah, he does that, and then, like, he apparently, like, I guess, somehow, thematically, he's, like, a really hard-hitting player, because he's one of those power players, so I don't understand the relation between that and having 2 strings on his racket, but yeah. But I just remember I left off at some point where they like split up all of the like entire cast down the line, and I think like half of them had to like face each other, and then the winning ones got to like advance to the next stage, and then the losing team got like discarded somewhere and they had to go through like some stupid anime journey to like redeem themselves or whatever. But it was like literally down the line, and like they split up all the tag teams and all that stuff. Like, I'm pretty sure they had like probably like Shishido taking on Otari, like that kind of stuff. But that's kind of where I left off. I was just like, alright, I can't take this anymore. It might have even just been because at that time maybe the manga went on like hiatus or something like that. And then I just started reading into it because I remember it was going back and forth between the 2, like, I guess teams, if you want to call them that, the 2 sides. And they were talking about how like the winning team, they were kind of like chilling. And they did like a filler manga or filler chapter where it was just them like having trouble sleeping and like some dumb shenanigans were going on or whatever. But I think at that point, like, the manga went on, like, hiatus or something like that, and I just kind of, like, completely stopped caring at that point. Instead, I started reading the much more accurate, at the very least, Baby Steps, which I've talked about before. I need to see if maybe there's a Baby Steps video game, which unfortunately I don't think there is, but I would really like to see if, you know, given how honky and... Can I get any more lets? Like, goddamn. Seeing how honky and crazy Prince of Tennis is, especially when it comes to like actual tennis, but it has this really solid game. You know, most of their games aren't really that bad, minus the like visual novels and the dating sim stuff, which, you know, not trying to like put down anyone that plays those or anything like that. It's just obviously it's not tennis, which is what I'm comparing right now. So I would like to see, you know, a game from the Baby Steps series, which is a lot more rooted in like actual solid technical tennis. See if they can actually transfer that into like a very good solid tennis game. But I'll try and do some research, see if I can do that. That'd be really real new, interesting experience for me, because I feel like I haven't played any. I wouldn't say I haven't played any new games, but it kind of feels that way where I've just been playing a lot of old stuff. So to find something that's kind of new but related to like the stuff that I currently have would be kind of cool. Kind of like playing, like for example, all the Yu-Gi-Oh games. They don't make those kinds of like, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh games anymore, especially now that they have Duel Links, stuff like that. But in any case, we're gonna go ahead and handily take down this team of edgy edge boys, maybe? I don't know. I don't really know. Yeah, first percent. My serve first serve percentage was pretty shitty, I guess because I kept getting lets, and I did get like a fault or two. Yeah, other than that, we kind of went through this really easily. Got a bunch of numbers. Literally used like no super shot. I think I did one, and then afterwards, I guess I got hit with Mizuki's special a bunch of times, or coach ability. So I couldn't actually build up any gauge, and I just didn't care because I was just plowing through it anyways. But in any case, take care of yourself.